Now that we have done with the employment requests procedure, before moving to the next page, an important note to consider is that if the organization's license got expired, then the organization and all users under this organization cannot perform any action in the system unless the license is renewed and updated. So after license renewal, the organization should raise a license renewal request through the Musnaed system so that Musnaed team would update the date of the license expiration, and users under this organization will get activated to use the system again.
As for the update license and info page, through this page, user can raise new update license and info requests by clicking on the add button. After that, user should specify the information that needs to be updated. For example, if the organization's name was changed or updated, then this information needs to be updated also in the system. So the EPRO needs to raise a request to update the organization name in the system. Or for example, if the organization license date was about to expire or was expired, so the organization has to raise a new request for the system in order to update the license date. After specifying the information to be updated, user should upload an attachment that supports his request. After that, user can click on save so that the update request would be sent to the operation team in Musnaed to process the request. The request status would turn to pending until the request is processed by the operation team. If it is updated by the operation team, then the request status would turn to updated. User can create more than one request if there are more than one information to be updated related to the organization. And user can search for the raised requests by this office by specifying a specific range of date, from a specific date to another specific date, or by basically sorting the requests by either the newest or oldest. Moving to the last page of the system, which is the user's management. This page is enabled only if the user's type is delegate or the user is the admin of the organization. If the user type is delegate, meaning that he is the admin of this office, then he can add sub-users for this organization by clicking on Add Sub-User button. After that, user should fill all the required details here, including the first name of the sub-user, the last name of the sub-user, and the email of the sub-user. An important thing to note here is that the email of the sub-user should be unique, meaning that the system would not allow user to create more than one sub-user having the same email. So the email value should be unique in the system. If the email was unique, then the system would allow to create this user under status pending login. Now the sub-user have received an invitation email on his mail inbox where he can open and complete the registration procedure by setting the username and the password and confirming the new password. If all these fields have been filled by the sub-user, then he can successfully use this credentials in order to log into the new system. After that, user status would turn to active, meaning that the user could successfully log into the system. As a delegate user, I can deactivate a specific sub-user by clicking on the deactivate button. If I confirm my action, then the user's status would turn to inactive. I can later reactivate the user's status by clicking on activate button and confirming the action so that the status would turn to active. As a delegate user, I can view all the sub-users that are under my organization, and I can filter the users based on their status. Pending login, meaning that they have received the invitation email, but they have not logged into the system yet. If for any reason the sub-user could not receive the invitation email, then the delegate user can resend invite by clicking on the resend invite button. User can search for the sub-users by selecting more than one status, or by directly entering their first name, last name, or email in order to search the user with. User can also click on View button in order to view the details of the sub-user. In case for any reason the language version of the system was set into Arabic, then user can easily switch between the languages by the language icon here. He can click on the EN icon in order to reset the language into English, and he can click on the AR language icon in order to set the web content into Arabic. User can easily log out of the system by clicking on the profile information drop-down menu. After that, selecting the logout option so that user would be able to log out of the system successfully.